What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're going to be reviewing round 6 Port Adelaide versus West Coast, and guess what? We got a win on the board. It's so great to be entering a new week with a win under the belt, and hopefully this continues with a bit of momentum into round 7. But let's go over round 6 and see all the positives and how Port Adelaide bet the West Coast Eagles on the weekend. ANZAC round, such a special occasion, was celebrated in front of just under 29,000 people, which in fact was a lot more than I was expecting. Unfortunately, I couldn't attend due to footy commitments, which was such a shame because ANZAC round is one of my favourite rounds of the year. But it was so glad to see that Port Adelaide could put on a spectacle for the fans that did attend and finally get the win on the board. And there was a lot to take out of the game, even though we were playing a West Coast outfit that is obviously not at their best, but they have had a lot of players come in. They're still missing Gaff, Nick Nat, Oscar Allen. You know, there's a couple of players that are still finding their feet, and it's a shame that they're not tracking as well as they would have liked. But Port Adelaide probably got them at the right time, and a time we needed, especially as a fan base and as a football club. So we've ticked off the box of getting that win for the year, and it was probably a season-defining win to get off the mark, because a lot of things could have happened if we lost this game. Ken Hinkley could have gone. We could have lost a lot of supporters, and the club might have been in a bit of turmoil. So there's a lot riding on this one, especially considering it was such a special round in ANZAC round 2. So the game started in itself pretty slowly, pretty poorly. We didn't kick a goal until 3 minutes to go in the first quarter, and West Coast kicked the opening goal in the first minute. So it was kind of pretty of a lackluster, boring first quarter, to say the least. But then we got going in the second. You know, we kicked, I think it was 7 goals to nothing, and really just made sure that West Coast was staying well out of the game. And that continued into the third quarter, where it was a pretty, an arm wrestle of a contest in that third quarter, but we actually managed to kick 3 goals on the board, all to Jeremy Finlayson, and we managed to extend the lead to 10 goals. And from there, I thought, me personally, sitting there, I was thinking, all right, we're going to take the foot off the pedal here. We're not going to carry on with this. We're going to probably end up with a 30-point win and just tick the box and say we got a victory in the end. But no, West Coast did kick the first 3 goals of the quarter, and I was thinking, here we go, I'm actually right here. But nope, we continued on and put the pedal down and accelerated and kicked a lot of goals towards the back end of that last quarter, and ended up 84-point winners, which was great to see. And a lot of individual efforts that were pretty impressive, I'd say. Connor Rosie winning the Peter Badco medal, which was a fantastic result for him. Had a very good last game against Carlton. Been pretty lackluster before then, but see what happens when you throw him in the midfield, give him some more time. He hasn't had enough time in that midfield space, and to get that opportunity, he's taken it with both hands and just dominating the scene in there. And his run, his carry, and his freedom with the footy is sensational. He can showcase his skills, and there's a lot of inside 50s that he had too, and it was really dangerous with the footy when he had it in hand. And it was also really good contested work as well by him, especially with his frame. To come out and do that was sensational to see. So really impressive that he's been able to showcase that. And I know Butters didn't have the greatest of games. That's because he was coming into the game pretty sick, and unfortunately for him, didn't have much of an impact on the contest, but played majority of the game down forward. And that's what happens when one player doesn't really quite get going. Connor Rosie stands up, and one day they'll both stand up and actually dominate a game and really stand out in that midfield, which is great to see. Buck did his thing, 30-odd touches, and was just doing his normal, running around the whole ground, basically freedom to do whatever he liked. That was really good to see. Ollie Wines, a special mention for him to come back, have 30-odd touches as well, kick a goal late in that last quarter after the worrying signs that he had in the last couple of weeks with his heart and that scare that we all had after the game against the D's. It was really worrying, and for him to come back, the Brownlow medalist, was just in sensational touch and really gave a big smile to my face, which was great to see. Dan Houston, really effective with the ball, absolutely dominated and kicking that goal late, and his forward pressure was really impressive. I think he was playing half forward at some stage throughout that last quarter, and deep in the inside 50, his pressure was brilliant, and his ball use is sensational. And I reckon if you're getting him around the footy quite a bit, you're obviously going to be quite damaging. And it's a really positive sign to have Connor Rosie getting plenty of the footy, Boak obviously getting plenty of the footy, Wines, but Houston as well. Really damaging players with the ball is sensational to see. So if the combination can start working a lot better, Willem Drew was very impressive. Pau Pepper's efforts were sensational at half forward, and I'm really liking him just throwing his hat in the ring for a bit of ruck work. It's not there obviously for height, but it's the contested work. It's the ground ball, and he's in his body in that contest. He's able to really be strong and stand his ground, and he can help out at the feet of the game and giving Hayes a bit of a rest. And Hayes' tap work as well. And I'm going through these pretty quickly, but there was a lot that I wanted to rattle off because at the end of the day, this game is not going to mean too much in the scheme of things because of the opponent, but it's nice to list some positives out of a game and really look forward to next week, which is going to be a big test against St Kilda. So with Hayes getting that tap working, that confidence, this game is giving a lot of confidence to people that probably need it. And that one person as well has to be Kane Farrell. And I really wanted to just mention him because his ball use was excellent. His hand skills were awesome. His contested work was really good, but his run, his carry, and his decision making is just what we need in a time like this when the team's not 100% hitting his sixth gear. And to have him back and seeing him kick that wonderful goal in front of the crowd in the pocket down at the northern end, it's just amazing to have that story and him being back in the side at the expense of Carl Amon, but Carl Amon coming in and not being the sub and actually playing a full game of footy. He probably proved a point. And was really, really effective throughout the game. Probably not as much as we're expecting, but still probably good enough to say, yep, I'm back in next week. I'm not going to be dropped. And, that it's just a massive positive. Right across the board, every player had a positive impact. And the two main ones that are really crucial, Jeremy Finlayson and Todd Marshall. 5 goals apiece. Todd Marshall especially, the way he was kicking his goals, the commitment that he had to the contest, and the confidence that he just developed across the game. It just got better and better and better. His set shot kicking was magnificent. He's kicked, I think, 11 goals, 1 for the year. It's just so important that we get these standouts in games like this, because if he's coming into this game kicking 1 or 2 and all your small forwards are kicking goals, it's really crucial that we have that. And it's sensational to see that he was standing up, taking one-handed marks in the square, big contested grabs, set shots from the boundary line, his contested work around the ground on his feet. I think he took 11 or 12 marks across the game. His foot skills were magnificent. And it's such a positive because if he's doing that, then we've got a big key forward. If he's not doing that, then you're relying on our smaller frame, Finlayson, Todd Marshall, Georgiades, skinnier bodies. And they're not creating a bigger contest as we'd like Charlie Dixon would. But if Todd Marshall's doing like he did on the weekend, absolutely sensational. And Finlayson, a special thing for him as well is he lost his one of his grandparents during the week, which was such a shame. And for him to come out, kick 5 goals and celebrate the way he did and play a great game of footy, that's just as equally as impressive. So I can't speak highly of those two from this particular performance. The only thing I can say about this whole collective is I just want to see this consistently become every single week now. You know what? If you're going to go down this year in this season, you get a great win like you did against West Coast, you pump them 84 points, you're now in a position where you can launch your season. You've got 17 games to change the momentum and change the opinions of fans, the confidence of the players, and really just develop this season into something that can be worth a little bit. Then it's time to launch and actually be consistent. So I want to see more of it. I want to see it next week in Cairns against St Kilda. And if we can do that, I'm going to be a happy boy again. But 2 big tests now. St Kilda in Cairns and the Dogs at home on a Friday night. If we go 3-5, we're back in this season. And watching the footy. I've watched a lot of footy over the weekend. The standout is obviously Melbourne. That is the standard that you got to hit. We're nowhere near that. But teams are gettable. All teams are gettable throughout the rest of the ladder. We've got to start getting these teams. And if we can do that, you never know. You just never know. I'm just being confident because of a great win. I'm not going to say, all right, now we're back. So let's start celebrating. Don't book any September plans because we're going to be making it. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just purely saying this is the progress now we need to make to actually have a decent season. So we'll wait and see on that. But overall, just happy to get a win. How good is it? Well, Port fans, thank you so much for watching this review. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on the game. Overall, pretty happy. Unfortunate for Robbie Gray getting subbed out too, by the way, but I'm hoping he'll be okay for next Saturday night because it's a crucial game. I look forward to previewing that later in the week. So the review is a bit late as well. One weekend, been pretty busy, so enjoy the win. Let's go into next week with some confidence. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new for plenty more Port Adelaide and AFL content coming your way across the season. My name is Anthony, and as always, come the pair.